I was asked to do a topic today, and I think I was going to change the topic from this to how to give a presentation without losing your audience's attention. So, the end, thank you. Okay, so that's not going to happen that way. So, we're going to go on with, which was formerly the 6 silver bullets you need to grow your business fast, to now the 7 silver bullets to grow your business fast. This is the first time I'm giving this particular presentation, so if I stop and pause for a second, that means I'm thinking. So, what you're going to find here is there is going to be no fluff. Okay, this is real world stuff. This is stuff you can take home and work on. So if you've got a notebook and a pen, I hope you are ready to take some notes. By the way, who loves fluff? I love fluff. With peanut butter, I love it. So, all right, so none of this is going to seem simple, okay? It's going to seem simple. Don't let that deter you from execution. Sometimes it's the simplest things that we're not doing that people pay me to point out to them. Okay? So, 3 things I need from you today. 1, grab your notebook and a pen. You'll have insights, you're going to have ideas, write them down. Number 2, set goals. I want you here today. Number 3, find yourself an accountability partner. Someone who is going to take what you want to do seriously. Sometimes we go home, and I have clients like this. They go home, their spouse is not interested in their business. Or, the spouse is like, it'll be okay, honey. Don't worry about it, right? Find yourself a real accountability partner because it helps. It really does. So, none of this is random. There is a system. I have various systems, some that I developed, some that I have gotten from mentors, but basically it all boils down to something that looks like this. Most of us today, sitting here, are probably somewhere around here to there, maybe. Maybe. Is there anybody here who's a startup or thinking about starting up? No? Yes? 1? Good. So you might be closer to here. But what we're going to talk about here, you're going to get to very quickly. So, oh, by the way, the first thing I'm going to tell you, the first silver bullet, is going to be in reference to this end. Okay, and you're going to see why in a second. Mistake number 1, no exit strategy. Okay? Call it starting from the beginning with the end in mind. What percentage of business owners, anybody who's got the answer, raise your hand. What percentage of business owners exit their business? 100%. Okay? You will be exiting. It's just going to be a question of, are you going to be doing it on your knees, or are you going to be doing it on your feet? Because right now, most businesses, half of them are failing at 5 years. In the coming years, with inflation and everything else, supply chain issues, I think that number might be going up a little bit. So 9 times out of 10, when I work with my business owners who are struggling, they've neglected to do some very important visioning work right here. So this is why an exit strategy is important. You have to know where you're going before you can get there. Right? We spend a lot of time thinking about the business, what we're going to do, how we're going to start it, but we spend very little time thinking about 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. I come from the real estate investment world. I have flipped dozens of houses, have closed over 300 short sales. You don't get into a property unless you know how you're getting out. Same thing with a business. Okay, it's an asset. How are you getting out? You're going to cash it out? Your kid's going to take it over? It's going to be an internal sale? Are you going to liquidate? you got to kind of have an idea of where you want that to go before it happens. Because there's something we call the 4 Ds in exit strategy business world. Death, divorce, disability, and disagreement. Okay? I can't tell you how many calls I get from business owners. My wife has cancer. I can't go to work. I have people who do the work for me, but if I'm not there, I have no idea if it'll be there tomorrow. Okay? That's a problem. How many people here have business partners? Okay? You have operating agreements. You have buy-sell agreements. You don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to answer that. I can probably tell you what the majority would say. Okay? This is all part of the exit strategy. Anybody here want to be in business with their partner's spouse? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Well, an exit strategy and the stuff that makes sure that doesn't happen needs to be done. Okay? So let's talk about understanding what's going on in the market a little bit. 28 million businesses, 40% of that are baby boomers. Has anybody seen the wave of baby boomers who are going to be retiring and leaving? Okay, so secret population in the United States is aging, and the demographics are shifting. 72 million baby boomers are approaching retirement. They represent 60-65% of the wealth in business right now. Something's going to happen, okay? When you have 28 million business owners, 40% of them being baby boomers, there's a challenge there. There's either going to be a wave of businesses coming for sale. A lot of them are going to be bought, maybe by other baby boomers. I'm not quite a baby boomer, but you know, some people in my age group will be buying some of those businesses. Okay? So, the scary part about some of this is 82% of them have no financial planner or insurance agent. 86% of them have no exit strategy. 87% of them have no retirement plan. That's frightening. Terrifying, exactly. I can tell you right now, we've seen what's going on in the real estate world, right? People put stuff up for sale and like in 24 hours they got a full price cash offer, maybe 10% higher than list, right? It's crazy. Guess what? It's going on in businesses too. I was just telling a friend of mine back there, I'm also a business broker. I took a franchise business, okay? Gentleman I worked with a couple of years ago, helped him get his exit strategy in place. And he's 64 years old and he says, okay, it's time. So I did evaluation of the business, 1.75 million. And we put it for sale last week. I had a full price offer yesterday. It wasn't even on. 2-3 business days. Full price, almost like that's better part of $2 million there. And that's not the only one. I got people pissed off at me now because I took that offer. It's going on in the business world too. So understanding the exit strategy is a twofold thing. Number one, have an exit strategy because it's insurance for yourself and because you can profit by having an exit strategy when you sell your business if it's run correctly. So, what's going to be your exit strategy? Sell, liquidate, merge, transfer, walk away? Now's the time to think about it, folks. Mistake number 2, no written business plan or tactical strategy. There's a saying I've heard tossed around in the last year or so called, it goes, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Anybody heard that? Right. Then culture will lose its lunch over the lack of strategy. I guarantee it. Can't stand that saying. Okay? Try some culture where no one is thriving in a business or the business owner is losing money. What's that culture going to be like? And a lot of it happens because we don't have a strategy. Who has a business plan here? Who has looked at that business plan in the last 45 days? Outstanding. Who has not? Yeah. And you know, I'm not a huge proponent of business plans. I think in their conventional form, they're used for one thing, and it's usually to get funding, right? So in my practice, we don't have these 40, 50, 60-page business plans. We have what they call a one-page strategic plan, a PSP. So, what's the benefit of a PSP? Well, we can take that one-page plan, and we can turn that into a 90-day map. Now, when I say map, yes, it's in the conventional sense of the word, a map, right? Kind of where you're going, right? But actually what MAP stands for is Massive Action Plan. So, being a small business, you have the luxury of turning on a dime, where bigger companies don't. So if you're not looking at that every day or every week, every month, trying to figure out where you can cut the corner or make more money, what's the point? You're kind of floating around, right? These are just a few of the things you've got to look at in your plan that we look at now as business owners, and we're like, okay, like my hair's on fire. You know, I'm going to punch myself in the face to put it out. But, so, you're balancing doing the right things, what to do, with doing things right. And that's the how. So, what a one-page plan looks like is that. I know you can't read what's going on there, but I just wanted to show you what a one-pager looks like, and that's it. That's it. We use that in my practice, and it's killer. Anybody like to have that? Anybody like to have one?
Sure.
Sergio, Max Business Profits. Send me an email. Tell me you want the one page. I'll send it to you. No problem.
Sergio what?
Sergio at maxbusinessprofits.com. And I'll send that over to you. So, the slide you saw before with all that stuff all over the place, you know, the key to aligning all those critical components lies in something like this. So that's what it kind of looks like up front, at the top, what we do, why we do it, where we do it, how we do it, who we do it to, when do we do it. All that stuff is there. Because here's the great thing about it. If you don't know what that stuff is, if you don't have the answers to that, how are the people who are working for you going to help you get to those people and sell? So we talked about the 90-day tactical map out of this. And if you want that, email me, I'll send it to you. Number 3, bad marketing or no marketing plan. This is one of my favorites, actually. So trying to grow your business by pouring more time and money into the same stuff that you've been doing that's been getting you nowhere, to me, is the definition of insanity. That is my definition of insanity. Whenever I sit down with a new client and I ask them what they think the key to growing their business is, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell me the same thing. We need to spend more money advertising, more money in the magazine. Okay? We know the difference between advertising and marketing? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay? Advertising is simply just buying something because someone came along and said, I will give you a great deal. You'll be in 2 counties. Well, it's great if nobody's looking at it in either county. But majority of cases, it's not a question of doing more. It's doing a better job of it. Right? Business owners tend to advertise and not market. So how do you keep track of this stuff, right? So the silver bullet for something like this is a tactical marketing plan. How many people advertise, but then the phone calls come in and you don't know if your advertising working because nobody's tracking that. Nobody's saying, hey, how did you hear about us? You don't have to raise your hands, I know how many. It happens every day. Right, Rick?
Never.
So, with a tactical marketing plan like this, it's pretty easy. It's easy to track. It's easy to have whoever's doing your marketing track this stuff and find out where your marketing is coming from. I have one of these. I don't know if I have the slide here. If I do, I will show it to you, but it's a little more complicated than that one. But something as simple as that. Who wants it? Anybody want it? Sergio at maxbusinessprofits.com. Email me and say, I want the TMP, please. So, since we're on the subject of marketing, do you know what little effort it takes just to make more money? A simple 10% increase. Okay, look at the difference there. And these are random numbers at the top. I don't know if you get 500 leads in your business or not. Maybe you get 50. You get 50 and take a 0 off. But what I want you to see is these numbers. Gross margin and net profit. Simple 10% increase in whatever you're doing now ends up netting you, what, 60% more? That's crazy. It's that simple. Just need to keep track of it. Mistake number 4. Ineffective hiring, train, and retention. That's Karen back there. She's your next speaker. She's going to be talking about some of this, so I'm not going to get too crazy with it. But we have a history here in Southwest Florida of not exactly paying the highest wages. And I know that hurts some people to hear that, but you can't have somebody with technical expertise who's an asset to your business and pay them $10 an hour. Okay? Even though I have clients who try to do that. Doesn't work. It's not good for your business. So, the silver bullet to this is basically having an employee acquisition plan, a recruitment plan. And maybe you need somebody now, maybe you don't. But you're always recruiting. That's how growth happens. And by the way, growth, anybody who's looking to grow their company, let me give you a little hint. Growth sucks cash. If you don't have cash for growth, you're not growing. Sorry. It takes cash to grow. So given COVID-19, government effects on the labor market more than ever, this should be at the top of your list for your company, having a recruitment plan. Now, sure, you can add more staff, which are salaried folks clocking time on the job and just barely following orders with no fun at all. Okay, that's the definition of staff. Okay, or you can build a team, right? So what's the difference, right? I can't tell you how many times I have clients who are going through people, okay? And I said, well, you know, how did you train them? What did you do? What are they not doing right? Oh, well, you know, they came to work and we put them right into it. Oh, okay. I have one particular client who's on office girl number 4 in 7 months.
Wow.
Okay, here's the reason why. Train your people. Spend the time training them. You'll cut your attrition down in half, minimally. Mistake number 5, no sales system. And I've got about 10 minutes left to get through this, so I'm going to go a little bit faster. So, poorly managed sales staff and a lack of systemized sales process is one of the biggest problems I see as well. Okay? There's a key to that. First of all, you have to know what numbers you have to hit. If you don't know your numbers, you throw a dart at a dartboard in the dark behind your back. Know your numbers. Anybody know what their break-even ratio is? I got one back there, and I know why you know. Nobody knows what their break-even? Okay, break-even is simply what you have to produce in a month to cover all your costs and your payroll and pay yourself and debt service. That's your break even. A lot of people forget the pay yourself part. Well, guess what? You're in business, right? You gotta pay yourself. Okay, if you don't know that, I suggest you find that out very quickly. So setting it up is not that hard. Key performance indicators for your sales team. You know, the numbers they gotta hit. Tie employee compensation to performance. Okay? I see so many people who, oh, we're gonna give them $18 an hour, but, you know, if they get a sale, they get a sale. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's salary, as far as I'm concerned, and there's no motivation there to bring sales into your company. Right? Quota 250, actual 14. Anybody going through that? Right. Wonder why. So again, looking at this, all you need is 10% more. 10% more gets you from there to there. Even if you take a zero off. See the difference? 10% more. It's nuts. So what does a sales system look like? Something like that. Something like that, where we pretty much take the slide before, we put in our numbers, close ratio, conversion rate. You know, that's the other great thing about salespeople. Oh, what's your closing ratio? Oh, 80, 90%. Sure it is. Anybody want that? There it is, Sergio, businessprofits.com. Ask me for the sales management system. We're happy to send it to you. Real quick, if you're a company and you have salespeople in particular, if you're not using a CRM, you are wrong. You are wrong. Anybody know what a CRM is? Do I have the customer relationship management software? You know, most of them now, you can automate anything. Automate your emails going out, onboarding, all that stuff. Spend the time to get a decent one. It's well worth it. Mistake number 6, poor time management. This is probably the one biggest thing I deal with my clients almost on a daily basis. They cannot manage their time. They are managing their time like they're a tourist in their own life. Okay? They go to work, crisis 1, crisis 2, lunchtime, so on, etc. One of the tools I try to get my clients to use is the Eisenhower Matrix. Anybody seen this before? It's kind of been around. I know you have. Okay? It's really cool. I use it myself. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're making lists. How many lists you got going? I know used to have, 5, 6, 7 lists, and those lists had Post-its. Okay, I was managing by Post-it. Terrible. But basically, you got the first quadrant upper left. That's the important stuff you need to do. Important, urgent needs to happen. Second quadrant is important, not urgent. This is where you make your time to do your strategic planning, your marketing. Third quadrant, not important but urgent. Usually that's employee problems that you're dealing with. Something you could delegate possibly. And of course, the last quadrant, not important, not urgent. Why are we even talking about it? All right, so time budget. Default diary, we call it. I try to get my clients to use it. Sometimes they have a hard time with it. I use one. I block off time. Anybody familiar with chunking? How to chunk time? This is a great thing to use for chunking time. Block off sections and you stick by it. You stick by it. Okay? Anybody wants it? You know where to find me. You know where to find me. So, poor time management, track the way you spend your time, use the Eisenhower Matrix, delegate everything in the third quadrant you saw there, or delegate, period, and use the default calendar. Last one before we wrap it up is mistake number 7. This is the bonus. Originally, this stuff was six silver bullets. Okay? I had to put a 7th one in there. I won't tell you why. That's another story. But this is the bonus one. I am shocked sometimes at what little financial understanding my clients have of their business. If you don't know your P&L, your profit and loss statement, pretty good, learn it. Okay? Anybody know what well, before that, I hear a lot about people talking about, oh, well, we make most of our money in season. Okay. That is the population year-round, regardless of season. Anybody who's telling me they're making most of their money in season, you're doing something wrong. And I had to say that, okay? It's not 1978, it's not 1988, it's 2021. We have almost 500,000 people here year-round. Fort Myers, double those numbers. So, I don't want to hear anybody talking about season. Okay? Understand your P&L statements, understand the 3 most important numbers. Besides you bookkeepers, what are the 3 most important numbers on your P&L? Really quick. Anybody got it? I hear 2. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Revenue, cost of goods, and operating expenses. Anybody know why they're the 3 most important? Because they're the only 3 you can control. Okay? A bookkeeper, if you don't have one, get one. If you're doing your own QuickBooks, God help you. Okay? Don't do it anymore. Bookkeepers worth their weight in gold, oil, Bitcoin, whatever. Okay? Break-even plan. You heard me talk about the break-even ratio? Have a break-even plan. Okay? That's a plan to cut expenses just enough to stop the bleeding. This is one of the first things I do when I work with my clients. Where are we bleeding cash? Have one. You may not have to use it, but you may. Isn't this the truth? So here's a couple of last things I want to throw out there. These are great books. Vern Harnish is a smart guy. I highly recommend this book. Get a chance to read it, pick it up, read it. And that will wrap it up for me. I'm sorry. Okay now. Mastering Rockefeller Habits. Vern Harnish. Hell, you don't even have to put his name in there. Just put that title. He's got the top spot. And Scaling Up is another good book. And that will wrap it up for me. I hope you got some value out of this today. And we've got 3 other speakers on deck who are going to rock you. So thank you, everyone.
Let's keep giving it up for my man Sergio. Everybody, let's keep it up. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. Did you get the email address? He may have mentioned it once or twice.
Up on the screen.
Or,
Up on the screen.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't screen. I was supposed to selfie. I missed it. By the way, Sergio probably got at least 4 emails from me, each individual for one sheet. The last one just said laugh out loud. So I'm not sure if you have anyone checking those emails for you, but they're going to get a laugh out of that. How many of you guys are enjoying it so far? Can I get over here? Yeah. Okay, so once again, to get anything out of this, you have to be in the mind state that you don't have all the answers. That something here today can expand and grow your business or the businesses around.